Let's go. I got a vision I see in my head, a melody buried deep into my soul. They call us crazy, we cutting the edge, unlocking the future and letting it go. This is a calling that's higher, the time we decided our stories are gonna be told. This is where legends are born, we paving the road, a future that favors the bold. Break the rules, break the laws, this is the moment we change it all. Break the rules, break the laws, this is the moment we change it all. Yeah, greatness, yeah, it feels like greatness. Woo! Greatness, yeah, it feels like greatness. Legendary in the making. Reach out and we take it. About to emerge, we on the verge, and it feels like greatness. Something coming, I can feel it. Deep down in my spirit. Revolution, it's a new day. Time to redefine the limits. So vivid, I can see it. So loud, I can hear it. So they calling me a madman, but the future belongs to the fearless. Break the rules, break the laws. This is the moment we change it all. Break the rules, break the laws. This is the moment we change it all. Yeah, greatness. Yeah, it feels like greatness. Woo! Greatness. Yeah, it feels like greatness. Legendary in the making. Reach out and we take it. About to emerge, we on the verge, and it feels like greatness. Greatness. Yeah, it feels like greatness. Woo! Greatness. Yeah, it feels like greatness. Legendary in the making. Reach out and we take it. About to emerge, we on the verge, and it feels like greatness. This is the truth, into the light. Taking our dreams and we bring them to life. This is the truth, into the light. Taking our dreams and we bring them to life. Yeah, greatness. Yeah, it feels like greatness. Woo! Greatness. Yeah, it feels like greatness. Legendary in the making. Reach out and we take it. About to emerge, we on the verge, and it feels like greatness. We about to set the tone, we about to write the code. Yeah, we writing the code. Yeah. We on a new elevation, we came here to shatter the mold. We gon' shatter the mold. Yeah, we about to set the tone, we about to write the code. Yeah, we writing the code. Yeah, we on a new elevation, we came here to shatter the mold. Yeah. I know you hear it, I know you see it. We got a fearless, we got a genius, we got defiance, we got a beacons, we got a true believers. Yeah, greatness. Yeah, it feels like greatness. Woo! Greatness, yeah, it feels like greatness. Legendary in the making. Reach out and we take it. About to emerge, we on the verge, and it feels like greatness. Yeah. Woo. Greatness.
Red alert, time, shine a light down. On the front lines of my mind now. Biding my time,
smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying, I taste blood that's drying, I feel tension rising.
Hello and welcome to the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with host Rock Jones and
John Randy Smith was bringing you our reactions to
WrestleMania Backlash,
otherwise known as
WrestleMania Rematch or Predict the Match.
which came at you from the Donut Center in Providence, Rhode Island.
Now the reason that we say this was WrestleMania Rematch is because 4 of the 6 matches were WrestleMania rematches.
Yep, they were indeed.
And this is going to be a slightly shorter show than what we would normally do, simply because we have only a grand total of 6 matches, which means for once they didn't add anything last minute and there was no pre-show match.
So we go straight into the main card with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes taking on Seth freaking Rollins.
Now, I think a lot of people went into this expecting WWE's typical 50-50 booking, considering that upon his return to WWE at WrestleMania, as Seth Rollins' surprise opponent, Cody picked up a win there. But this was going to be an entertaining match no matter what.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was it as good as their WrestleMania match? Questionable. But here we had Rollins attempting to do suicide dives, though there was avoided and with a Cody cutter. A attempted Phoenix Splash from Rollins, but again avoided. However, Rollins landed on his feet and decided to pull Shawn Michaels with a super kick. Oh. Then Rhodes would go to the top rope and only to be cut off by Rollins with a suplex. No, not from Suplex City.
No.
However, from there we went on to, of course, through to a Falcon Arrow. But that was countered into a Crossroads. However, as Rhodes went for the pin, Rollins' foot managed to find its way to the bottom rope for making the count. Then Rhodes would attempt to go for a vertebraker.
Yeah, he would.
Only for Seth to attempt a little Eddie Guerrero.
By trying to get him disqualified or something.
By countering into a roll up and attempting to hold the tights. However, Rhodes managed to turn that into a switcheroo and reversed into a roll up of his own and held Rollins' tights to pick up the win. Now, it's safe to say that Rollins did not take this lying down, because the next night on Raw, it was advertised that Theory, McMahon's pet project, would be defending the United States Championship against Cody Rhodes. Well, Cody has his match pretty much all but won. When he is jumped from behind by Seth Rollins.
Causing the match to be thrown out.
And was ultimately given a little bit of a beating. Now, to me, this spells one thing. We are going to see Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes go at it one more time in 3 weeks, likely inside the structure known as Hell in a Cell. The second match on the card stuck to the WrestleMania rematch theme.
Yes, as Omos took with MVP in his corner, took on Bobby Lashley in the meeting.
During this match, Lashley managed to apply the Hurt Lock onto Omos momentarily, but
What do you mean momentarily?
almost broke out of it. Lashley attempted a vertical suplex, but almost landed the ropes and performed a spinebuster. However, Lashley would attempt to go for the spear. Now, who else do we know who uses that move? Only for almost to counter by catching his knee and sending him into the limb post. And then this is where the X Factor came into play. With the referee distracted, MVP would hit Lashley with his cane, allowing Omos to form the choke bomb and pick up the victory. Now this is 50-50 booking at its best.
This past episode of Monday Night Raw, it was confirmed that these two individuals will go one-on-one inside a steel cage, which will take place on Next week's Raw.
Yeah, so it was MVP rounds with Omos, interrupted by Cedric Alexander, then interrupted by a very annoyed Bobby Lashley. Then later on in the show, Lashley said the only reason Omos won was because MVP got involved, so he issued a challenge where no one could get involved. And it's type of case before.
Very true about that, and I don't want to think of it. And next match also was a WrestleMania rematch. The leader of Judgment Day, Edge, took on AJ Styles, with Damien Priest back from ringside.
We no longer call him the rated R superstar. Or should it be the rated J superstar?
And this match is what we expected. Again, 50-50 booking at its best.
50-50 booking. Are you forgetting who won at WrestleMania?
Oh yes.
The Priest was banned from ringside, as we said. This match started off with aggressive punching from Styles. Then Edge went to a throw, and we had a aerial moonsault from Styles. As Styles would attempt a phenomenal forearm, Edge would cut off with a boot to Styles' injured shoulder, which would become the target for quite a bit of the match.
Yep.
Styles would hit Edge with a Pele kick. Then both men would meet in a crossbody block at the same time.
Yeah.
Then, as Styles was charged in at Edge, Edge would perform a spear for a near fall. And then Styles went up to the ropes. Damien Priest appeared at the top of the stage. Now, technically, an argument could be made that if he's standing at the entrance ramp, he's not at ringside. Or at least that's the technicality that they're using. So as Priest comes there, he's obviously causing a slight distraction. Then Finn Balor gets involved.
And basically takes Priest out of the equation.
In the closing moments of the match, a masked person served Styles off the top rope,
landing on Styles' injured arm across the room,
allowing Edge to apply the I can't believe I'm saying this move again. Crossface, of course. A move made famous by he who must not be named.
Yeah, it's causing AJ Styles to pass out in the hold.
Pass out, which makes Ed win by technical submission.
The hooded figure gets back into the ring and kneels down with Edge.
And is revealed to be Rhea Ripley.
joining Judgment Day. It was rumored for months, but now WWE have officially pulled the trigger.
It was rumours when Edge started to do this. At the time, Rhea was still a face, but teasing going heel. And after going heel and officially splitting up with Liv Morgan, has now joined Judgment Day. And it looks like we may be possibly shifting into a war between a Bullet Club and Judgment Day.
Now that would be very interesting. But the only question is, who does the Bullet Club pick on the female side?
Now, WrestleMania rematch number 4.
Yes. As the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey, challenges Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship in an I Quit match.
Only the second women's I Quit match to ever take place on WWE's main roster. The third to take place in WWE for women, period. So, how do we describe this?
Brutal.
Yes, this wasn't really a match, more of a 16-minute fight.
Kendo sticks, chairs, barricades, tables,
Chairs.
and more chairs.
So early in the match, of course, the rules of an I Quit match is you have to get your opponent to say the words I quit by any means necessary.
I do mean any means necessary.
So early in the match, Flair performed a German suplex onto Ronda. And then Flair would pull out a candlestick from underneath her in, only to be intercepted by Rousey, who would chase Flair up the stage and the back.
But then Ronda Rousey would block a kendo stick attempt from Charlotte Flair to arm herself with two kendo sticks.
Yes. Then Flair would grab a camera and throw it to Rousey,
Literally.
who then hopped the barricade and they fought in the crowd. Then back in the ring, we had a natural selection onto a chair, which would probably in a typical match be enough to keep someone down for a 3 count.
But this was not a regular match.
Flair would then apply the figure 8. However, Rousey would use the chair to break the hold. Here, as we go to the conclusion, is where I think Flair made the mistake by opening her big mouth.
Yeah.
By basically saying Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, pretty much. Because obviously in America, it was Mother's Day at the time of the pay-per-view.
So, and Flair was holding the chair at the time. Rousey's demeanor immediately changed. And us locking in the armbar with the chair onto Flair. Initially, Flair said no to quitting, and then possibly the quote of the match. Rousey said, and I quote, "I was hoping you'd say that, bitch."
Literally locked in the hold even more, and Charlotte Flair goes, I quit, no wins.
So the winner of the match and new SmackDown Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. Now an argument could be made that they should have done this at WrestleMania, but like I said, we all knew they were never going to put Rousey in this situation and bring her back and not give her the championship eventually. Also, Charlotte will be absent from WWE TV for a while following this.
Because she's hearing wedding bells.
Well, according to WWE, he suffered a injury in this match. However, the real life reason is likely to go through with the wedding to the artist formerly known as Andrade Cien Almas.
Yes. See how you did that. I see how you did that. Very well done.
So, next match, non-WrestleMania rematch,
Hallelujah.
and probably just there to be a buffer between the essentially two big matches. Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss.
Now, how do we say this match?
This went exactly the way I was expecting it to go.
Same.
With Madcap Moss picking up the victory.
Yes. I mean, that's pretty much. Yeah. It's what we expected, wasn't it? Move on.
And the main event, which went under the chains, even though it was probably the plan all along, according to some people. Now, initially, following the unification, and I say that word loosely, with the Universal and WWE Championships, Roman Reigns instructed the Usos to go over to Raw and get the Raw Tag Team Championship. So that match was made, advertised for weeks. Then when we get to the episode of SmackDown which features the contract signing, Roman Reigns says nope.
Ripping up this contract and shooting it down your throat in riddle.
Yes, and there's a bit of a bit of a 3-on-1 beatdown until Drew McIntyre 3-on-2 beatdown until Drew McIntyre gets involved.
And pretty much makes it play for RK Bro.
And this is then turned into a 6-man tag team match.
It is indeed.
Now, why they didn't do this initially, if WWE had no intention whatsoever to unify the tag titles, I don't know.
I don't know either. So, how do you expect this match to go down?
Well, given the fact that the Go Home episode of SmackDown went off the air with RK Bro and Drew McIntyre getting the better of the Usos and Reigns with a couple of RKOs and the Claymore. That kind of tells you where the match is going to go.
It kind of does.
So during this match, of course, Reigns and McIntyre brawled.
As you'd expect with two heavyweights.
Riddle was knocked off the apron. McIntyre did manage to perform the Claymore on Reigns, and Riddle performed the floating blow onto Jey Uso. Jey would then perform an elevated neck breaker, but Orton would break up the count. Reigns would leap off the ring steps to perform a Superman punch onto Randy Orton.
Literally out of nowhere almost. And I know that's my shtick.
McIntyre attempted a powerbomb on Roman Reigns through the announce table, but Jimmy Uso saved Reigns and took a Glasgow kiss for his efforts.
Which is McIntyre's headbutt, for those of you who are wondering.
Reigns would then take advantage and perform the lock bottom.
That's your move. I mean, you should say something about that.
Onto McIntyre. In the win, Riddle would manage to hit the RKO on Jey from the top rope,
which I've been teaching him quite well.
Only for Reigns to get the quick tag and hit Riddle with a spear before he could hit another RKO and win the match.
Bloodline pick up the win.
Yes, and despite this, on Raw, RK Bros said that they were going to go to SmackDown tomorrow night at the time of this recording to attempt to yet again get this contract signed for the unification match. However, apparently WWE still has no plans to unify the titles.
So it's very mixed signals
Also,
coming out at the moment.
Also, I'm suspecting that Drew McIntyre will probably build up to a championship match with Roman Reigns at the next Premium Live event, Hell in a Cell, which is a good thing for McIntyre because apart from his Saudi Arabia match with Big E at Crown Jewel, he hasn't been in the championship picture for the better part of a year. Of course, that is per stipulation to when Lashley was champion. But we'll once again run through the 6 matches and results.
Starting off with Cody Rhodes defeating Seth Rollins in a one-on-one match.
With a little bit of help from MVP, almost defeated Bobby Lashley.
Edge defeated AJ Styles by technical submission, with again a bit of help from Rhea Ripley.
Ronda Rousey made Charlotte Flair say "I quit" to become the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Cat Moss defeated Happy Corbin one-on-one.
And the bloodline of Roman Reigns and the Usos defeated Drew McIntyre and RK Bro in a 6-man tag team match.
So that about does it for WrestleMania Backlash.
Yes, next time we hear from us, we will be switching companies before getting back to another WWE Premium Live event.
So until then, he's been
With Jones, and he's been
John Randy Smith, and we will see you next time.